see that we didn't spend a lot on those scenes. We shot them in the control room. We're reading our scripts right in front of us. We weren't hiding them. And there was a great deal of pressure to finish what we were doing so everyone could go to lunch. And so any character motivation or any skill that might have been apparent or not even there was motivated mostly by that pressure to get to Denny's.
I mean, one thing about the Mads is, as you can see from the pilot, that wasn't a component of the show, and it was like, I just pictured it, oh, this guy, it's kind of like how Space Ghost Coast to Coast starts, or used to start, as they were kind of like pirating your channel and you were getting it, and that's the idea. And it just had all this laborious exposition. I'm Joel Robinson, and these are my robots, and this is where we are. And Jim, we just were at Comic-Con, and we did, Trace and Jim Mallon and I did a ton of interviews, and this came up, and Jim Mallon had a guy that he was showing the show to, and he said it just kind of fried this guy's brain. And the guy just said, you need something to explain what you're doing. Why don't you do like Gilligan's Island? Why don't you do a theme song? And so Jim said that to me, and it totally made sense, but I couldn't get to it, you know, myself. And so Josh and I then really went to Denny's and wrote the theme song. And the Mads came out of that. It was just really, his bosses didn't like him, so they shot him into space. So we didn't know who those people were, and it was really, again, Josh and Trace. After doing it numerous times, they kind of evolved into what became known as the Mads. But again, that's getting a glimpse as to the workshop element or feel of what we were up to.
We thought about it more when we got to the channel. You know, we gave them an environment. They were in Deep 13 and the whole backstory of Gizmonics, and they were expelled from that institution, and really fleshed them out more than.
One missing piece about the Gizmonics story is that, as like Trace said, the Mads are really heretics of Gizmonics. They stole the satellite, they shanghaied Joel, and then they went deep beneath Gizmonic Institute. So we didn't ever really explain any of that, but that was really what we were operating on. Gizmonic Institute is a completely different, more neutral environment. It's not evil. Oh boy, I don't know where to start. There's a man over there. Not you, the other guy. Not this guy.
Have you ever received, after doing an episode of Mystery Science Theater, have you ever received angry calls from production companies of the movie you secured the right to rip, basically saying, like, we had no idea you were going to ravage our film so badly, and we don't want to do this with you anymore?
I thought Sandy Frank had some issues.
No, we never got angry calls. We got some of the actors, like Miles O'Keefe, contacted us, I forget how it happened, but there were some of the actors that we came in contact with, and they were really cool about it. You know, they thought it was really funny.
Like Robbie Benson also.
Robbie Benson,
met him years later.
Kim Cattrall, you know, they were just like.
Trace got to make out with Kim Cattrall.
According to the internet.
It's in your Wikipedia entry.
You know, that's a really interesting question, and I'd like you to have this piece of candy. I'm just kidding. I think people. I mean, if you really look at Mystery Science Theater, and which you obviously have, I'm not going to suggest that you haven't. I feel that you really have. But it's kind of a variety show where we use what's happening in the movie as a springboard for ideas and jokes. And really, the percentage of us ripping on or really ridiculing a movie are really tiny. It's just a fraction of what all we're doing. So I think if people get mad and we go, well, really, you just got to watch the show and just tell us what you really have a problem with, and they realize we're not really hardly ever saying this is a god-awful movie and we hate it. We really like them. So I think at first when they hear about it, they're going, oh, they're making fun of us and they're ridiculing us, and when they finally see it, they go, oh, I guess it's not really exactly about the movie. It's kind of like all kinds of jokes. So, oh, and now the guy who I was pointing to, yeah, go ahead.
The origin of the invention exchange.
What's that? I'm sorry.
Origin of the invention.
That was just kind of from my act, my stand-up act, and when we were doing TV, when we were doing TV 23, it was just something that I knew we could put in that was kind of add some production value, and I had all the stuff in my garage, so it was just I was able to grab stuff and say, oh, this is part of it. But the idea of Gizmonic Institute was really, it's really Gizmonic Institute of Naive Science, and that was the coin of the realm for Gizmonic Institute, is that's how people would greet each other. And of course, Joel and the Mads are like, you know, not really brilliant scientists, so they have really dumb, you know, invention exchanges, but they're trying to emulate what they do at Gizmonic Institute. The guy way in the back of the tan shirt.
When you guys were doing Mitchell, did you realize that you have a great drinking game?
What? Oh, no, I never,
I just found out.
wow. They get really fucking drunk doing that.
I think we're going to do one more question, and then if you'd like, we're going to sign, and we have, can we show our wares? We have DVDs, we have Cinematic Titanic, Wasp Woman, what are the other ones?
Got already?
The Oozing Skull and Doomsday Machine, and 8x10s too, and if you have any questions, we'd be happy to answer them in the line as well. But let's really bring this one home with a mind-bending super question. You and the beard.
That's a two-parter, actually. First of all,
Okay.
I wanted to say I was not planning on coming to the con this year until I saw that you guys were on this.
Sure.
I have about 200 episodes of my machine at home. I go to bed every night watching one. You guys have done something very, very, very cool. My question
We've
is,
eliminated every other television show from your life.
every time I bring people over to actually show them episodes of the show, I try.
Is this before you kill them?
I try to give them like kind of a timeline to kind of explain it, because they see it in sections. They don't get to see it in continuity. But I've never actually. It's all been based on inference. Did you actually go back and tell us like exactly how, like why did Josh leave after the first season? How did Frank come in? Why did you leave? When did you leave? For what reason? And what makes you want to come back and do this? And
You've asked the greatest, most complex question I've ever heard, and I think it's
We're
a
never
worthy
getting
one.
out of here now.
It's a worthy one to end with.
Is this still part one of the question?
Go ahead, keep going. I'm sorry, I interrupted you. No, I'm just kidding. I think that what you're seeing with Mystery Science Theater is there's two sides. There's kind of behind the curtain of Mystery Science Theater, which is business stuff, which is why people leave, mostly why I left, and Josh and Trace, and then Frank, and Alex Carr. Who else left? I'm trying to think.
Everyone.
Heidi Klum. There's a lot of them. So it was kind of like we would kind of manifest that on screen and then come up with kind of a lame reason why ever. Like, I know Josh to this day is still offended that we put him on a milk carton.
Yeah.
Someone asked where Dr. Earhart was, and you guys held up a milk carton and said he's missing. He's still really mad about that. And I had a little more control over how I went out, but still, it's just that thing. And as you're leaving, and this is how I felt, you want the show to go on, so you don't want to do anything that's going to disrupt that. So you just kind of make it fit within the body of the show. And so that's kind of that's my answer. I think that's what. Oh, I thought I'd be funnier at the very end.
You could always end on Trace's departure, which was as a baby.
Our baby.
Oh yeah, apparently I'm still on the show somewhere as a baby.
And then we left, but then they brought, Joel and I came back for an episode. And so it's the fun thing about it is the mythology. It's of the show, you know, we can make a big excuse for why we character left, but then, you know, we'll just throw it right out the window to bring it back for an episode.
That was the episode they didn't ask me to come back for.
Oh, that happens sometimes. You just gotta grow up. Anyway, we want to thank you so much. The fans are so important in what we do. Thank you so much. I won't be down here to sign. I guess we're doing this right here. Where's your stairs? Just queue up over there by the steps and come on up and we'll use this.
By the way, so you know, you can get them sign hats, shirts, cameras, cell phones.